Hey, good afternoon everyone. This is Will with Indigo Creek Outfitters and this is the boatyard. Today we're going to set up a river wing. I'm going to show you how to set that up by yourself without any extra help, and hopefully we'll get a break from the sun. So here we go. So on the original Addie Wings, there's a seam. There's 4 tie down points, which is one of the reasons why this makes a great river wing. It's really simple. You don't have to tie it down in a million places. 2 of the rings are on the same seam. That seam is going to be where your oars end up going. And so you can see these rings here on the end. These actually fit most oar handles. So we're going to use some 10-foot smokers from Sawyer to go into these rings here. The very first thing that we're going to do though, if you're setting this up by yourself, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're actually going to get your anchor points in place, and you're going to start tying it down loosely. You're going to start laying out the rope so that you can see where your tie downs need to be. We're going to use trucker hitches on this. Again, at least initially, they're not going to be super tight. They're going to be fairly loose, with the anticipation of throwing the oars underneath once we're all tied off. It's always really good to use to do a few twists in this initial slip knot. And that way it comes out really easily later on. So now's the fun part. We're going to throw these oars in and see how we did. And then we'll tighten up the straps. Alright, so we set up our shade tarp or rain fly. Looks pretty good to go. I'm going to go through and tighten up all the 4 tie downs. And I'll throw an extra overhand on the knot just to keep it from slipping further, and then we're good to go. So this is our wing. It's all set up. It's going to provide some excellent shade for us this afternoon. Most people don't realize this, but the wing name refers to Addie Wing, who was a woman who lived in Salmon, Idaho. And she would make these wings for all the different outfits that were in that town. And she would also repair sleeping bags, tents, canvas bags. She'd replace zippers, anything that broke, over the course of the summer. You could take it to Addie and she would get it fixed before your next trip went out. She would actually go to the basketball courts in Salmon in the summer when it was like 110 degrees out. She would lay out all the fabric to make these wings because it was a nice flat surface. She'd get everything lined up and then she'd take it home and get it all sewed up. Another interesting thing about Addie was that she took to collecting clocks, and I think it started when she had a clock of hers that broke and she wanted it fixed, but no one was in town to fix it. And so she figured, well, I could probably figure out how to fix it. And so she started fixing everyone's clocks. And it became a little bit of a hobby for her, actually collecting clocks. It turned into a bit of an obsession as well. And at the time of her death, she had estimated 96 clocks in her living room. And I remember walking into her place as a kid, and every inch of the walls were covered in clocks. Small clocks, big clocks, cuckoo clocks. Most of them made noise, and so if you were there at the top of the hour, the whole place would be going off and kind of crazy. But she was definitely like a major player in the outfitting world, when she was doing the repair work, because she was almost the only one in town that could fix things for you. And so I know a lot of people really appreciated Addie. And she made fantastic wings. This one's probably 20 plus years old. It is simple, it's big, it covers a large area. And these are kind of like what people refer to when they ask, whether or not you have a wing. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next go around.